So to jump in, the first steps we took is that, I knew we wanted to hide the equipment as much as possible. I don't like looking at blinking lights and menus and displays. I want it hidden because I want to watch the movie. So the first thing I did was I framed out the studs of a wall directly in front of this, what was going to be the screen wall here. So it's basically, factoring in for the kick board, the baseboard. I put studs right up against that, and I spaced it out at the top so it was perfectly, straight, level, perpendicular. And it's just screwed into the ceiling with probably, I think, 2 lag bolts. Other than that, it's kind of friction fit from sidewall to sidewall and from top to bottom. It's snug. In the stud bays of that, I have my left, center, and right speakers. And then everything else, aside from one little spot up here that's kind of reserved for lighting control systems and power, everything that's not speakers behind the screen is insulation that's just then covered with landscape fabric. And that acts as a really nice wall size absorption panel to help offset all the hard surfaces in here. You can also see these black panels. These are also theoretically they're sound absorbing. It's a very small frequency range where they're actually effective at sound absorption, but those are good light absorption. On the sidewalls, right next to the screen, just flanking the screen on the sidewalls, to help kill off some of the very first reflections, because my left and right speakers are very close to the sidewalls just because it's a narrow room. So I've got 4 foot by 1 foot wide by 3-inch GIK panels right flanking the screen there. They have the air gap in the back side of them as well, and that helps some of those immediate first reflections. But then there's also the art panels over here, and there's 2 black panels over here that I haven't decided if I'm going to put art on them or not, but those are ATS absorption panels, ATS acoustics. Those are 48 by 24 by 2-inch thick on this side. On this side, they're 36 inches by 24 inches. The room is a little bit asymmetrical in terms of there's windows here that we couldn't keep going. So in order to make them as even as possible, these are 36 by 24 and 2-inch thick, and they're actually mounted horizontally. These are vertical with the art panels on them as well. These are just black panels that I wrapped in some printed fabric. We found an artist online that we liked their work, and we reached out, and I think I gave him $75 for a high-res digital copy of this artwork, and he sent me the file, and I then uploaded it to print onto the fabric. So I didn't want to just steal art because that's not okay. So the artist was happy that I reached out. They were happy to provide the file. Said they'd never been asked that before, but they thought it was a great idea. They thought it was a cool gesture to reach out instead of right-clicking and stealing it. So we also have these wooden slat panels, one on each wall. Again, they're offset because of the asymmetry of the room. These were the original threshold where we went from the blackout theater area to normal room. I've since expanded a little bit further. It helps hide the speakers, the surround speakers a little bit. They just kind of blend in now rather than being a black box on the wall. And also it just, I ended up really liking the look of it being blacked out down here. So that's what we did. The ceiling, I have a little ceiling cloud up there. These are Eco acoustic panels by a company called DeFi. They're originally designed to go in recording studios and control mixing rooms and stuff, but I really liked the look of them, and I wanted something on the ceiling that wasn't just black. So I ordered, I think this is just one set, double thick. They're originally made to go in with 3 of the square panels, and then there's 4 sets of them, and I ended up doing a little modification and combining them into the configuration you see here. And that's just another, it's an interesting look that's not just black. They do a really nice job due to, you know, from the viewing angle, it just kind of blacks out the ceiling there, but it's also not solid, and it adds a little extra character to the room that we really like. We like the look of them. That's one of the more expensive acoustic treatments I have in here. You can kind of see on the back wall above the desk here, I've got some audio diffuser panels. Those are just cheapos off Amazon. Above that, I have some more of the black acoustic, or the black panels that they're up there, and they actually do a nice job of kind of killing off some of the fan noise from the projector. You know, it's blowing directly at those instead of the wall where it would bounce back out. So those actually have done a nice job up there. And as well, they actually keep light from bouncing off the wall directly back onto the screen. So that's, you know, yeah, the rugs down here on this side are a thick shag from IKEA that just happen to fit. There's 2 of them in here that come up to the seat, and they fill in the front, and it's just really nice, and it's dead up here. A little liver in the back of the room where I have my office. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it that way or if I'm going to deaden that as well. This is only a 514 room, so there are no back speakers. The speaker you see kind of behind me right here is actually, it's a studio monitor for my video editing setup back there. So one thing about these UMI Acoustics panels that I wanted to quick discuss is the fact that, you know, they have, the ones I got have the like the channels in there for a little bit of texture, and I think that looks really nice, and I don't regret getting these at all. But they do, both sides will end on the same flat edge without that channel, so when you put 2 next to each other, it does kind of accentuate the seams. So ideally, if you had, you know, the extra time and wanted to do it a little more perfectly than maybe I did, and if I did this over, I would absolutely do this. If you cut down the middle of the last channel on each side, you'll get that 45-degree chamfer, or, you know, bezel, I guess, on the edge, and then it would be more seamless all the way across. But it does, you know, these are really nice light absorbing panels, and this doesn't stand out unless you're looking for it, or it is a little more evident with the lights are already all the way up, but I also don't turn my lights all the way up very frequently. So it's not a big concern for me, but going, you know, if I had it to do over again, I would account for that and make sure to take care of that little detail. It's not worth taking them down and redoing it, though.